So in a couple of minutes, I think we're going to be joined by Chris Weidman. Alistair Overeem, I guess, is playing a little bit hard to get. He's playing hard to get. And then everything will go back to normal. So we'll get an update from Chris Weidman on his next situation. Overeem, of course, headlining UFC 203 September 10th in Cleveland, Ohio. Wanted to talk to Dan about the Olympics, which kicked off, I guess, in full Saturday, opening ceremonies on Friday, but we ran out of time there. Had I known Overeem was going to go MIA on us, I probably would have stretched it a little bit. But they have been enjoyable. Our own Guilherme Cruz reporting the heck out of them, doing a great job, right? Covering the combat sports and all that. I love the Olympics. I am a sucker for the Olympics. I know that they are very controversial. I know that they are very polarizing. I know a lot of people get all worked up about them, and rightfully so. And I do think that over time, they need to adjust where they put the Olympics, how they construct the Olympics, how they decide where it's going to be held, trying to put, a fresh coat of paint on some cities that, just aren't equipped to host such. I come from a city, Montreal, which needed I think it was 30 to 35 years to pay off the stadium that they built for the 1976 Olympics, which became somewhat of an albatross. But the citizens of Montreal had to pay in taxes for that stadium well after the Olympics came to town. And so this is something that we've seen in many other cities. Stadiums are being built, never used again. We see this with the World Cup. Interesting that they go back to Rio after the World Cup was just there as well. But if you put all that aside and you just actually watch the games and take them for what they are, these athletes who do not get paid a lot, training, working, dedicating their lives for 4 years for sometimes seconds of glory, walking away with a medal. I always think about what Ronda Rousey had to say about her Olympic experience and what she was left with afterwards. Of course, she was left with a bronze medal, but not much else. So those thoughts are always in my mind when thinking about the Olympics. But when you're actually sitting down and just watching them, it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, especially when you're someone who happens to work from home as well, because you can have it on in the background and all of a sudden get into China versus Croatia ping pong. That stuff's amazing. When would I ever watch that? But for some reason I get into it. I can't get enough. My only complaint about it is I always find it hard to really know what is going on, what is live, what happened. I know there's a little bug up there that says that it's live and if it's not there, I assume that it is taped. But I never know what's coming up, who's racing, who's competing. It's all very confusing. I have DirecTV, and they have a great channel that shows you all the channels, all the Olympic channels, Bravo, USA, NBCSN, NBC. There's a soccer channel. There's a basketball channel. I have all of those things, but I don't really know what, it's just all very overwhelming. But when I'm actually watching it, and I love the basketball, but I try not to watch the basketball too much because I can see Kevin Durant and Carmelo, Klay Thompson, Boogie Cousins. I could see these people throughout the year. I actually kind of prefer watching the unknown people, the unheralded stars, compete and do their thing and learn more about them. I don't know. I really enjoy that. So I look forward to it for the next 2 weeks. I say this, of course, because Dan Henderson competed in the Olympic Games. Daniel Cormier as well. Many others. Okay, let's move along. Since we're talking about the middleweight division, I think it is apropos that we bring in our next guest, get his thoughts on the situation, get an update on him. He is the former UFC middleweight champion, recently underwent neck surgery, shooting for a return at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden, November 12th, the UFC's first show. He's done a lot of campaigning, a lot of work to get New York to legalize, and it is almost here. I believe we have Chris Weidman on line one. Chris, are you there?
I'm good, man. How are you? I'm here.
I never actually asked you if you were good or not. I just said, are you there? But I'm happy to hear that you're good.
Well, I couldn't stop thinking about use the word apropos. I was trying to figure that one out, so that's why.
It's a big one.
You threw me off. That's a good one, man. You definitely just checked that out in the dictionary recently, huh?
Yeah. So are you at a farm right now?
I am at a farm.
What kind of farm?
Old White Post Farms. Basically, it's got like a petting zoo. It's got some water slide park stuff, and a bunch of cows and deer and stuff for the kids to like look at. It's a kid.
Wow.
Environment. It's got some fresh food. Good.
So I appreciate you squeezing us in while you're doing this on a Monday. What a life that is to just go out to the farm on a Monday afternoon. By the way, do you echo my sentiments on the Olympics? I don't know how much you heard of them, but do you enjoy them as well as a wrestler and an athlete your entire life? Do you enjoy watching the Olympics?
Yeah, definitely. Has wrestling started yet?
No, it hasn't. But just appreciating what.
Oh man, yeah. I think wrestling is one of the best sports in the world, and I was just in a grocery store. I put a post up, and I was taking all the food out of the basket, putting it in the car, and next thing you know, I'm looking at Jordan Burroughs in the face. He did I guess he's sponsored by Chobani, the yogurt company.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just awesome to see that they're getting some love now, and because they deserve it. Those guys are so tough and work so hard. So absolutely, I'll be watching them and supporting them.
Okay, so let me ask you about your health situation first. You recently underwent neck surgery. You spoke to us right before the neck surgery. Can you tell us which one you opted for? Because at the time, you were sort of weighing several options.
Yeah, so I went for the most non-invasive one. It was laminectomy. I haven't said that word in a while, so I could be wrong on that. But basically, it's real non-invasive. They just go through the front of my neck, and they scoop out the herniation with like this special tool, and then they stitch me back up, and they're out of there. It's almost like going into doing a knee scope. And I woke up feeling so much better. My strength was back. I was down to like doing a push-up towards the end. I could get one push-up, and it was a struggle. So right out of surgery, I felt so much better. And then the pain was finally gone. There was so much pain I was going through for a while there. So I just feel rejuvenated and excited about training again.
And as far as limitations now with the neck, with your body, what are you feeling? Like, what can't you do?
I could do anything.
Wow.
So 6 weeks out, I went back to the doctor, and he completely cleared me for everything. So that was about, I guess, 3-4 weeks ago.
Okay.
I've been completely cleared to do anything, but I'm taking it slow. I'm not doing any hard sparring yet. I'm not doing hard wrestling yet, even though I'm allowed to. I just feel like there's no reason to. So I'm focused on drilling and just getting better. Just trying to enjoy it.
You mentioned that your goal was to return November 12th in MSG. Obviously, is that still the case?
Yep. November 12th, I'll be back. No idea when I'm fighting yet, but I will be there.
So we just had Dan Henderson on the show, and as you know, he is getting the next title shot. How do you feel about that?
I think it's kind of stupid, but I also don't like complaining about something that's already done. It is what it is, and because it's a done deal, you focus on the facts, and the fact, it's a cool thing for Dan Henderson. He's 46 years old, and he has a chance to retire winning the belt. So you got to be happy for him. I can't complain too much. I was complaining when it mattered because I just didn't think he deserves a shot at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sets a precedent for the future of the sport. That is not good. It kind of takes away from working your way to fighting for a title. I could go through his stats and his losses he's had recently, and I just don't think he deserves it. I don't think he could argue that he deserves it, but he's getting it, and so just all the best to him.
He just told us that win or lose, if he wins the belt, he swears he will retire. He's going to walk away as champion, vacate the title, and he sort of understands why people like you are upset. Like, he did not ask for this. He didn't see it coming. It sort of fell in his lap. Do you believe him when he says that he will walk away if he becomes the champion in October?
Well, you know what? That would be a gracious way to end his career. I mean, he's one of my favorite fighters of all time. Even though I've kind of crushed his last couple of years in what he's and like his fights that he's lost, just because I don't think he deserved the shot of the belt. But he really has accomplished so much in the sport over the years, and for him to end up being a champion and retire that way would be amazing. But I see it hard for him. I still don't 100% believe it's going to happen that way. If he does win, which I think there's a good chance he does. I just think you have to realize when you become champion, you have more opportunities, and you get that your next fight will be, for pay-per-view points, and that's when you make the real money. So for him to retire on top and knowing that he can make millions of dollars his next fight would be hard to see actually play out. I could see him, even if he thinks he's going to lose or whatever whether his body hurts or not. I can't see him turning down a $1 million to a couple $1 million payday.
So you actually favor him in the fight? You think he's got a great shot?
I think he has a shot. I think he has a great shot. I wouldn't say he's favored to win, but I'd say he has the same shot he had to knocking out Bisping as he did the first time.
Yeah,
I don't think much has changed.
Does it kind of bother you that they would book this fight knowing that he is going to walk away? Like in short, it's like, what's the point then? You book title fights to crown a champion and have him defend the belt and do his thing. If you know that, if he's telling you, which he has, this you being the UFC, that he's going to walk away, does that do you feel like that in some way devalues the belt? Like what this feels more like a prop more than an actual championship that you're now going to defend as champion.
Yeah, I agree with you. But what are you going to do? I'm not going to sulk about it. I believe I'm the best in the world, and no matter who I have to fight to prove that, I will. And so that's really my mindset. My mindset has shifted to that, and I'm just sticking with that.
Does it still feel surreal that Michael is the champion? I'm sure as the former champion, you sort of still view the belt as yours. Does it still feel weird to see him with that belt and being called champion, etc.?
Definitely. Very weird.
Would you say?
It would have been, there's a chance he's beating Dan Henderson, but I don't think there was much of a chance he's beating anybody else in top 5. But he has a chance to win and holding the belts again. So it's definitely surreal to walk around and people ask who the champion is in my weight class. And I'd say Michael Bisping. It's a little embarrassing, but it's the way it goes.
Why embarrassing?
I just don't, honestly, man. All power to him. He went out there on short notice and beat Luke Rockhold and knocked him out in the first round. All power to him. But I just don't think he is the best champion you've seen. He's not like I never thought he was championship material, to be honest with you. It was far-fetched for him to get a title shot ever again. He happened to be in the right place, right place, right time when I got injured, and he happened to have an opportunity to step up and fight for the belt, and he made it work. But before that, he was in the UFC for how long? He never even fought for the belt. So for him to fight for the belt and become champion out of nowhere is definitely a weird thing to soak in.
Are you a little bit mad at Luke that he did this?
No. I'm not mad at anybody.
Okay.
Sure, he went out there to win and he lost.
Right.
It happens. It's a fight game.
Yes. So has anyone even reached, was there ever a chance that you were going to be the next? Because you brought up a great point when he said that he was going to defend the title first against you and you were supposed to fight for the belt, all that. Was that ever in discussion at all from your perspective, or were you never in the running?
I don't really know, man. I thought I was in the running. I wasn't hearing much from the UFC. You have to remember, it's been a weird time, I think, with the UFC, them selling and everything. I wasn't having the communication that I was used to having with the UFC. Things changed a little bit. And so I didn't really know what was going on. I felt like I deserved it. I felt like it would make sense for me to fight for the title. Rankings, Luke just got knocked out by him, and I'm next in line for a shot. I was a 4-time UFC champion. I've only lost once. So I thought it made sense, and I'm in the prime of my career. So I always thought it made sense to give me a shot to get that belt back. You got Bisping, who's at the end of his career, who just had the best win of his career. But it's definitely his time is dwindling down, and I just think it would have made sense for the belt to come back to my hands. But I'll have to wait a little bit.
Have there been any talks about who you will fight? I mean, I'm assuming you're going to fight MSG. That's what you want. You've done all that work. It's a natural. Any talks at all about who you might fight?
Nope, I haven't heard a word. I've reached out, haven't heard anything.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'd like to have the biggest fight I could possibly have at Madison Square Garden. It's been a dream. I wanted to fight at MSG. I would like a fight that everybody's getting excited about, and a fight everybody really wants to see. And I don't really know who gives that to me. I think the redemption on Luke Rockhold would probably be the biggest in my eyes, and so I think the fight I want. And you have Jacare, you have Yoel Romero, and you have some of the other old timers with the big names, Anderson Silva and other guys like that. And I don't know who it's going to be. Honestly, I'm just kind of putting the UFC hands. Whoever they decide to give me. But if I had to probably pick, it'd be Luke because I want that. I think we're the two best in the division, and I would like to fight the best guy, and especially the guy who beat me. And I want to get that one back. So that's especially in front of a home crowd in MSG. That'll be a great one.
And would you be okay with that not being a main event, meaning not a 5-round fight? Do you like that?
I'm not obviously when I always visualized me fighting MSG, I was champion and defending my belts, and definitely main event. But things have changed. So I'm not expecting anything. I would love to be the main event. That's what I would want to happen, but I don't know what's going to happen. It depends.
Okay, so top choice is Luke Rockhold getting that rematch. There is a chance. Have you thought about this? Talk about turning a negative into a positive. Dan Hendo wins on October 8th, sticks to his word, walks away, retires, vacates the title. If you're booked against Rockhold, I could see them making you versus Rockhold for the belt right away, right?
Yeah. Yep. So, I think that would be pretty cool. So, yeah, that would work out good. So hopefully they make me and Luke. I think that makes perfect sense.
So, but I'm wondering who you're rooting for, though, because are you rooting for Hendo so that scenario plays out? Or I think you versus Bisping is a big money fight. You have a history. Are you rooting for him to keep the title so that you can get your hands on him? Who will you be rooting for?
It doesn't matter. Bisping will run for me as much as he possibly can. And Dan Henderson possibly, could retire. I really don't want to wish bad on anybody. Like I hope this guy gets killed or beat. I really don't care either way. Either way, I just got to keep winning, and I'll have that strap back and have these big fights.
Okay.
Either way, so.
And just curious, have you told the UFC that you want the Rockhold fight? Like, do you know how they feel about that?
No, I haven't had contact with them. I put some text out there.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything back. I don't know if things have changed, with new ownership and anything. I really don't know what's going on with the new ownership, to be honest with you, and what changes have came about. Usually, if you were working for a company, a big corporation, and you were an employee for them, which I guess we're not really employees,
yes.
So I guess maybe that's the difference. but if a big corporation came and bought that corporation, took it over, usually the new people that came in would probably have a huge meeting with everybody who works for them and said, these are the new changes, these are the people, maybe we want to lay some people off, maybe we want to bring more people in, this is a new mission statement for the company and how we want to grow it differently. I haven't heard anything. Nothing. I don't know what the goals for them are, and I don't think anybody knows. I don't know what changes, what doesn't. So it's a little bit of a weird time, I think, right now with the UFC.
Yeah, from what I heard, that they did have one of those meetings the day it was announced with the actual employees of Zuffa, but I guess since you guys are independent contractors, you got an email or something, but not much more than that. You've done some work with WME. Maybe you'll be in a good spot. Have you inquired about that?
I can inquire about my inside source. my inside source, the things that are going to come good out of it. Just having inside connections. Can't tell you that.
All right. Well, I'm sure.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't think anything comes from that.
It did get you backstage at WWE, though, right? You got to meet John Cena, Sheamus.
That wasn't through them. That was actually through my Instagram. was kind of interesting how that played out, but it was cool.
What do you mean?
That was awesome. I put on my Instagram that I would love to, have my son meet John Cena and this and that. Like, it would be awesome. But the people I was with who work at MSG, like, WWE security is really tough right now. It's going to be hard to get backstage. And I'm like, it sucks. So I don't ever really use any connections I have for anything for myself. But now it's like an opportunity to really make my kid happy.
Yeah.
Which I've never really been in that situation before. He's finally at the age where he loves something, and I possibly could have connections to get him to meet these people that he's kind of like obsessed with right now. So I pulled every string I had within like an hour, and somehow someone got in touch with my gym manager, like actually my gym out here in Long Island, and had them call me, and then someone got me backstage, man. But it was awesome, man. It was like a dream come true to have my son meet people he's like in awe of. Yeah. It was really fun, man. It was really a great experience.
Yeah, your son, he just got a Sheamus haircut. He's that big of a fan?
He is. Like, literally a year ago, all he did was talk about me. It was perfect. Talk about me at UFC, but mainly it was just his dad is the best and it could beat up everybody. And then he goes to his cousin's house one day, and I guess he watched some WWE and specifically John Cena, and he just became obsessed with them. And next thing I know, he's telling me John Cena can beat me up, and I'm like, no, you're wrong. Like arguing with him, and now I just kind of gave up and realized, all right, he likes these people better than me. I got to deal with it and support him. But it's definitely a cool thing.
And so your son is like is he watching Monday Night Raw? You let him stay up to watch that stuff, or do you just do it in doses?
No. He's more like on his iPad, YouTubing. Okay. YouTubing stuff. Like I just put on like WWE and type in John Cena and his Royal Rumble matches. He watches it. It's unbelievable how he remembers all these guys' names. He knows everybody.
Yeah.
I'm 4 years old now.
That is crazy. I have a 4-year-old. He doesn't know anything about that stuff. Probably wouldn't show it to him, but that's a different story.
You're a better parent than me, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, right?
Put me down? You wouldn't let your son watch that?
No.
No?
I'm not. I mean, to be honest, the WWE world.
The cursing or the violence?
They're not very happy with me, the WWE world right now. But in general, the more I've grown up, look, WWE is a big part about why I do this. Like I was a WWE fan, wrestling fan before I was an MMA fan, and I think that there's a connection. But the more I learn about the sport and the way they conduct themselves backstage and the injury, I feel a little weird about it. The more I've been exposed to it, not the sports entertainment. You know what I mean?
So would you let your son ever watch it, or is it just like at a certain age?
No. Look, if he gets into it, I'm not going to stop him. That'll be incredibly hypocritical. I just don't like what I've seen out of it over the last few years.
Gotcha. So you're not going to be going to a WWE show and bringing him and introducing him to it on his through you.
If he goes, I'll support him. I'll have fun. I will let him enjoy it. My dad used to get so pissed when I used to watch it, and I don't want to do that to him. So I'm not going to go out of my way. I'm just going to let if he discovers it through his friends, like he's discovered everything else, like Power Rangers or PJ Masks, things like that. All power to him. But I'm not going to be like, hey, let's sit down and watch this, because I feel a little, I don't know. But I feel like that's.
I hear you. I wouldn't know. I was not letting my son watch WWE in my house. I still don't know if I'm going to let him watch. I still have like a weird thing with it, but it's happening through like the iPad and everything like that. And I did bring him to an event, so. I asked somebody else who's pretty conservative parents, and they don't let their kids watch UFC. And I let my kids watch UFC only because I'm always with them. This is what their dad does, and I can explain everything to them. Make it very clear you can't do this to other people, and I just make it very clear. Like, and this doesn't mean that my kids are going to be innocent for the rest of their lives. I hope they don't ever do anything to anybody, but so far it's working out. But yeah, my daughter is like a little angel, and she's 6 years old, so she's not going to be hitting anybody. But my son could be a problem in a year or two. So I have to be really careful with him.
By the way, your son versus Frankie Edgar's son. I saw that on Embedded. Who wins? Like right now, if you let them wrestle, real match, who wins?
Frankie's son smokes my son. He's like 2.5 years older, but they're the same size, so they look like they're the same age. But my son's 4, his son's like 6.5. So it's unfair, but it's great for my son. And I'm so happy because when my son first started, like I wouldn't even say he wrestles at this point. Like he's not like taking classes and he's not taking it serious, but he loves to wrestle, like with his friends. When kids come over, his cousins come over, he just loves to wrestle. You know, we don't take it's nothing serious. But Frankie's kid, I think, actually, he takes classes and stuff with Frankie. He's really good. But I was just happy because my son, when he first started kind of wrestling around, if he lost, he would cry and mope around, and I hated it. And now finally, like, he's on his back and he's still smiling. I love it like this. The key, I think, for kids, especially at this age, just have fun. If they're not having fun, you got to get them out of there because they're going to end up hating the sport, hating you. I've seen it happen too many times with kids. So I just am going to support him with everything he wants to do. If he starts something, he has to finish it. But the main thing is he has to be having fun. Otherwise, he's out of it. I'm not gonna push him in anything.
Yeah, that is beautiful. That's great parenting.
Right now, at the age of 4, he loves fighting, which obviously I love secretly inside, and then he loves wrestling, and I love that as well. And I get super into it because I love it, but I have to be careful because I don't want to show that much passion for him doing it because that could kind of turn him the other way. He can see how much I love it, and then he's gonna go the other way. You know how that works with relationships. So there's a fine line with parenting. And you'll never get it right, but you try.
We could do a whole interview just on parenting, and I would love it. Maybe just you and I.
Yeah. No one else is going to like it. But
let me ask you about this before I let you go, because I don't want to take away more time from your family. You're doing something very cool with Keiichiro comic book.
I'm good, man. Take your time, man.
Look at you.
Am I boring?
No. I just you're at the farm. What's going on with Keiichiro? What role are you in with them? Do you have with them?
I would say I'm a spokesperson for them. I own it. I'm a part owner of it, and it's real exciting stuff. I wanted to do something a little bit outside of fighting on the business side, and this felt like it was a perfect fit with me having kids. And Keiichiro is like, it started with comic books, but eventually, and it just came out the novel, and it's eventually going to go to merchandise and action figures and different things like that. And I think it really could blow up. I think it's a really cool concept. The owners of the creators of the Ninja Turtles, they're on board with it. So they endorse this now, and they have all their connections that they have through everything they've done with the Ninja Turtles. So hopefully we could follow suit with what Ninja Turtles did and just continue on that path and be the new generation of Ninja Turtles, being Keiichiro. So I'm excited about it.
So where can people buy? I see them on Amazon. Where can people buy these? On Amazon?
It's actually the novels in Barnes and Nobles now.
Oh wow!
And you could all the comic books. I know you definitely get on Amazon, and I believe there's other places, but Amazon's always a good one.
Now, are you doing any writing, any illustrations, or are you just promoting them?
I'm involved. I'm involved with kind of the direction of the company.
Okay.
But more, I'm not sticking my nose in and trying to be a writer for them. But I'll as this starts developing, it's in the beginning stages. As it starts developing more, I'll definitely have more influence in the direction of it.
What about a Chris Weidman character?
Hey man, we'll see. Can't disclose anything now.
Really?
See what
wow.
happens.
That is fun. That is fun. I like that. An all-American character, Chris Weidman. I've always kind of felt like you were a superhero in many respects. Now with the bionic neck.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
You can buy me and you can play with me. It'll be awesome. You'll be in heaven.
Well, I don't know about the action figure. I just mean a comic book character.
So you're more into reading the comic book.
I do like comic books.
You don't want to play with the action figure.
Well, no. I like the action figures too, but there is a comic book store next to where I live, and I take my sons there, and they seem to like it. So we go from time to time. I show them the pictures. It's a fun little activity.
Oh, so you endorse the comic books with the kids. You'll bring them to that. There's nothing. You're not worried about that. That's good.
No, we're looking at Frozen and Ninja Turtles.
Frozen?
Yeah, Frozen. You know Frozen?
Boys?
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it. They like Frozen. They sing it. They enjoy it.
You sing it with them?
Of course. Let it go.
Awesome.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Well, you and Demi Lovato.
Never bothered me anyway. That was me, ladies and gentlemen. That wasn't the radio. They didn't voice over. That was actually me.
You're tight with Demi Lovato, who sang that song.
Yes, she's great.
She's a big MMA fan.
She taught me how to sing.
Okay. All right, I think we're good
What do you
here.
got for me? You got that's it?
That's it.
And you're gonna end it with Frozen, me singing a song. Can you do something better than that?
No, I mean, I think we've covered it.
Nothing really to talk about, huh?
Well, we've covered it all. We've been talking for more than 20 minutes here. We've covered the
Well, what do you got for me? You got any nuggets for me? Anything I should know about the MMA world?
People don't know this, but this is
anything?
actually how our real conversations go behind the scenes. You call me up, ask me for the scoops. I tell you, why don't you just go to my website and read the scoops? But you want the scoop behind the scoop.
I want the scoop before the scoop becomes the scoop that everybody else knows about is the scoop.
Yeah, well, I can't.
I need the pre-scoop.
I can't
Otherwise,
broadcast.
I don't feel like it's a scoop anymore.
I can't broadcast that. Okay, Conor or Nate? Who do you got?
Nate.
Wow. Why?
What do you mean, wow? Are you surprised?
Well, I
I
don't
ain't
know.
surprised.
I feel like a lot of people are picking Conor now with the full training camp, all this stuff.
Yeah, but what do you mean with a full training camp? Nate had no training camp. So, listen, anything could happen. I'm not saying it's a done deal, but Nate should definitely be the favorite. He won on, 9 days' notice. He was out drinking. There's videos of that. He wasn't in shape, which is what he relies on is his shape, and which actually got him through the fight, even though he didn't have a training camp. So for him to have that much more confidence, knowing he is prepared and going to be in possibly the best shape of his life, I think he's going to give him a huge confidence boost. And as much as you won't see, as much as Conor's mindset seems bulletproof, it's going to be in his head a little bit that Nate's going to be prepared, 100% for him. And I know Conor, obviously, on the other side, Conor is going to have guys coming in, and he's going to be way more prepared as well. But at the end of the day, you go into the fight and you did a full training camp, and you're in the best shape of your life. The opponent changes. You still were in the best shape of your life, and you still were ready for a fight. So it's not as much of an excuse as taking a fight on short notice. I suppose.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. Okay, great insight. Check out Keiichiro. Get it on Amazon. Get it online. Get it anywhere you can. Great product.
Barnes and Nobles.
Barnes and Nobles.
Take them out.
Yeah, go to the actual store and pick it up yourself. Chris is supporting them. They're great people. Ian Parker and those guys. I support them as well. Chris, great to hear that you're doing well. Enjoy the day with the family. Appreciate the time, and I'll see you at MSG. And feel free to come visit us in studio. It has been a while. We miss you over here.
Yeah, man. Really appreciate you having me on. It's an honor to be on this show.
Thank you.
I thought that I wasn't big enough to be on this show for a while since you didn't ask me, but to be on here again just brings me back to my heyday and makes me feel like I'm important again.
You're always welcome here, Chris.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
Much love. There he is, Chris Weidman.
Take care, everybody.
There he is.